Of the masses. Diary political. This one not day off in mind. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, and people make you shout. Oh yo yo.
Askoti wogo yoru lawai. Askoti wogo yoru lawai. Askoti wogo yoru lawai. Askoti wogo.
Hello there.
Mayegun lawa mo la mo do.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun lawa mo la mo do.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from as usual. Please share this broadcast. Read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast. There's more that are really not in the description, by the way, but share it, like it, and invite others.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
It is not a good news from Ekiti. 100 million naira is the ransom demanded by the terrorists that took children, boys, school children in Ekiti, their school teachers, and the driver of the van they were traveling in. Amotekun, we are told, are still pretty much on their tail or trail. It's been over 48 hours, by the way. There is another expose on why Tifnumbu is in France while Nigeria burns. They say, Nero fidues why Rome burn. King Nero, Tifnumbu was there to complete the sale of Nigeria to himself. Mutide. And good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun and this is live for those who are watching it live. Thank you so much for joining me, and in appreciation to everyone who celebrated my birthday yesterday, I want to say a big thank you to all of you that I will probably never be able to mention, too numerous to. So thank you so much. Now that you have shared the broadcast, let's get down to business. 2 days ago, Fulani terrorists, they struck in Ekiti, the small state of Ekiti, witnessed the bloodiest and the tragediest day when Fulani terrorists killed 2 kings that were unfortunately loyal to APC. Egbekegbe. I remember telling all of us here that bad government is like a stray bullet. It doesn't discriminate. Very democratic. Whether you are for them or against them, even if you are their die-hard fans, you will still die from the stray bullet of a bad governance. If you are those who love to sit on the bench, on the fence, those who will pretend that you don't like politics simply because you love the status quo, but you are so afraid to publicly admit it. Bad government is like a stray bullet. It can hit anyone. Sorry, it will hit anyone and everyone, anytime and anywhere. And in fact, everywhere that you are not in Nigeria, the stray bullet of bad governance will hit you too. It's hitting all of us from all over the place. Or if there is a time for people to actually sort of have a sober reflection, to think about themselves, think about the decisions they make in their lives, the ones that actually put your lives even in danger, politics. So you would have to be very, very careful when you make all those decisions and you stand by them. They might actually be you signing your own death warrant. That's how powerful making a decision on those who lead you truly is. However, it won't take out, the rage, or should we say, it won't deny us the fact that we'll keep asking for answers from those who choose blood to access power. Now they have it, and more blood are still flowing. So you can always ask for answers. In Ekiti, they are very confused as we speak, because that we are all alarmed, enraged, reacted differently to what happened in Ekiti, and just like we have been reacting to things happening elsewhere and everywhere. Their problem is not going anywhere because of all of our reactions. It won't. It's just going to be what? It's just going to go to somewhere else, then come back to them. And the victims that we are talking about today, who were actually survivors of 8 years of Bukwari's terrorist government, now that they felt like Yoruba Lokon, and they were not really ashamed, which is actually their right, by the way, right, to choose whoever they feel like will take care of them. But at the same time, it's also it is also your responsibility to take responsibility for such decisions. If you will say 2 kings were killed, kings, crowned kings in Yoruba land, they were killed, unprovoked attack. So those who found the bodies of their kings, as sad as they are, they found closure. Compared to the parents, the poor parents of all those children, 6 boys, that's what we have heard. They said all the kidnapped children in Ekiti, they were boys, students, school children. 3 teachers and the driver. 10 people currently in the captivity of Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land. Even though, as we all know, Amotekun does not even have the type of a weapon capacity to go after these terrorists, but they were still willing to, if you take out all of the roadblocks. So far, so good. I read somewhere this afternoon that despite the increasing act of terror in Ondo states, Amotekun still managed to apprehend over 31 terrorists caught. Unfortunately, those terrorists will be released by the system. That's part of the roadblock I'm talking about. 10 people, including 6 children, have been in the forest, possibly still in the forest of Yoruba land in the last 48 hours. They've made contact, which means they have called. Their location could be traced, and a lot of things could be done to save these innocent citizens, right? But on paper, on paper, on TV, in your newspaper, they said they are going after them. Meanwhile, what is really going on behind the scene is negotiation for ransom. 100 million naira from the poor family of those kidnapped. A lot of you have been reading about this. A lot of you have been living in denial of this. Many of you told yourselves years ago that, because you used to read all of this, that it happened in in Yobe, in Jigawa, in Taraba, in Plateau, in Sokoto, in all these places. They are telling us people were selling their properties to pay ransom to terrorists without the help of the state. The moment your people get into the hands of terrorists, your chance of seeing them again it will completely depends on how soon you can get them the ransom. Now Ekiti would have to cough out 100 million naira to get this. And when you read about the kidnapping of the Chibok girls, a lot of you felt like, how is that even possible? They will never kidnap school children in Yoruba land and Yoruba will look away. They just did. But because for a long time, APC, Egbekegbe, they did all they could to normalize this. After Chibok, you had Dabchi, you have Kankara, you have different kind of school mass kidnappings. And a lot of it just felt like, oh, it has happened again. Now it's happening in Yoruba land. And there is always a first time. And yeah, 100 million is the demand. Ekiti State government said they will do everything within their power to get them back alive, which means they will pay ransom. And I don't think it does really matter anymore, whatever they do to get these innocent people back. What really matters is what they would do or what they are doing to prevent such from happening again. Now, if you ask me, what do I think they are doing to prevent something like this happening again anywhere in Yoruba land? The answer is nothing. Forget about all those media acting and all of that too. They are just part of the drama, including this one, where House of Representative member from Ekiti, to some extent, the whole thing was so painful that it broke down in tears. Those are TV dramas. After all of that and the cameras are off, you have to give the terrorists what they want. And then you have to manage it enough that people are not going to see it that way. But they are going to actually know that that's what you did. Then you are going to work on how to make them get used to it by telling them that you are working so hard. They said Tifnubu is working so hard in France on Nigeria insecurity. And educated people like yourself believe them. And you don't know that pay wahala tiwa. Wahala tiwa. Anyway, take a look at this guy. He was kind of presenting, the situation in Ekiti. He's from Ekiti. Meanwhile, zero, or should I call it a ZA1 or zero data solution. Thank you very much for that. You're far too kind. I thought we did all of that yesterday, but thank you. It is better late than never, you will say. God bless you and replenish your wallet. Let's go to the National Assembly where they discussed this yesterday.
First of all, let me introduce myself, Mr. Speaker. My name is N100m Jr. and I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1 federal constituency comprising Ekiti and Oye local governments. Mr. Speaker, it's my pleasure to present this motion of urgent national importance on the criminality currently ravaging Ekiti State. The House notes that there has been an increase in criminal activities in Ekiti North 1 federal constituency in recent times, resulting in the loss of lives and property. The House also notes that the constituency is exposed to peculiar security challenges due to the nature of our forests and topography, and more painfully because Ekiti federal roads are some of the most dilapidated in the entire country. Further notes that on Monday, January 29, 2024, these criminals carried out a dastardly attack in the Okeako area in Ekiti local government area, resulting in the death of 2 traditional rulers, the Onimojo of Imojo Ekiti, Oba Dr. Olatunji Samuel Olushola, and the Eleso of Esu Ekiti, Oba David Babatunde Ogushaki, and leaving a host of others with life-threatening injuries. Shocked that this is not an isolated event, as in the past few days alone, a commercial driver was killed between Ayedo and Ayebode by armed bandits. And just yesterday, a school bus load of students were abducted in Emure, Ekiti, and their whereabouts is still unknown till now. Aware that the late Onimojo was an intellectual and highly intelligent historian, an orator who always spoke truth to power. Also aware that the late Elesu was a peace-loving king who was very hands-on in the development of Esu-Ayedu communities. Further aware that because of the topography of the area and the bad roads, there has been an incursion of murderous elements who parade themselves as headsmen, leading to heightened insecurity. The House recognizes that the entire people of Imojo in Oye local government and Esu in Ekiti local government and the entire state have been thrown into mourning on account of the loss of our highly revered traditional rulers who were forces for community development, peace and stability in the constituency and the entire state. Cognizant that the Nigerian army has a military outpost on that road, which has been non-functional as the only patrol on Tuesdays, leaving the communities exposed for the rest of the days. And the House resolves to observe a minute's silence in honor of the memory of the dearly departed monarchs. The House further urges the Chief of Army Staff to redeploy military personnel to the outpost along the Okeako area to enhance security and forestall a repeat of such acts. The House also directs the Inspector General of Police, the Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and other security agencies to deploy more men to Ekiti North 1 and ensure that those who carried out those acts are fished out and brought to justice. The House also urges the security agencies to put all measures in place to rescue the school children and teachers who were abducted in Emure, Ekiti. The House also compels the Ministry of Works and FEMA to immediately rehabilitate the Ayedu to Irele Road and other roads in the federal constituency. The House also mandates the House Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report back to the House. So I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. How many of you believe that that crying was genuine or real? Raise up your hand if you believe. Yeah, raise up your hand because we are all humans. Sure, you understand now? So raise up your hand higher, upper, if you believe that cry is real. Yeah, upper, more. Now fold the hand like that, like me, like this. Oh yeah, knock your head harder. It's all dramas. Very soon, you see, inside that same National Assembly, where he is putting up that drama, all right? Half of them inside that National Assembly, they are from northern Nigeria that do not go back to their constituency anymore. Kilonshin constituency. They no longer go back to their constituency because of insecurity. Did you hear him say the military outpost in that Ekiti North has become non-functional, and they only operate they only patrol on Tuesdays. The remaining 6 days in a week, the people of Ekiti North, they were at the mercy of their killers, kidnappers, rapists, Fulani terrorists. Do you understand that? So very soon, some of these southern lawmakers in Abuja, they will no longer be able to go to their constituencies anymore. It's already getting there. Very soon, they will no longer be able to. They will only be going to their state capitals, like their counterparts from the Sharia North. You just go to your state capital. In Borno State, for over 8 years now, more than 20 local government areas, not just one, more than 20 out of about 27 local government areas have been taken over by terrorists, and they have been left like completely for them. Borno State too, but they are still doing governorship election. They are still doing a local government election. They are still collecting allocation for all the local government areas. But guess where majority of them lives? State capital. That's how dysfunctional that contraption is. So, you see that guy crying? The cry never starts. It's unfortunate that a lot of the Lagos Abobakus, the bastards, the bat idiots, a lot of them are kind of putting it, I mean, having it in their, pangolo heads that exposing these criminals as well as the danger they are putting everybody in, is like, that is us crying. Mayego, you go cry for 8 years. And I've told you before, cry go different from cry. So now all of us go cry for as long as this criminality exists and continues. Now all of us, but our cry go different. Somebody like me now, if I walk to a filling station in Nigeria and I say, how much is a liter of petrol? And they say, it is how much? 650 Naira. So somebody like me would just be like, what kind of a country is this? What is all this nonsense? Do they want to finish all this? Yeah. Oh yeah, give me full tank. Yeah, somebody like me would be like that. Anyway, put the full tank. Only God will save us in this country, man. We must do something. Yeah. I'll pay, I'll walk away. If I walk into a store and they say, a bag of rice is now 100,000 Naira. Where are we going in this country? What kind of a country is this? Do they want to finish all of us? Give me 2 bags. Please. That's somebody like me. Do you see the level of cry? A lot of you, the only way to console yourself, or you'll be consoling yourself on that Tifnumbu, is when you become creative like this.
Lórí rice àkọ́kọ́ 63,000. Ọlọ́run àyìn ológo gba ọpẹ́ wa. Lórí gàrí kí ọ̀dà kan 25. Olúwa Baba ẹgbà ẹ̀yìn wa. Lórí epo petrol 620 per litre. Ìwọ nìkan lọ́pẹ́ yẹ. Baba gba ọpẹ́ wa. Gba ẹ̀yìn wa. Lórí sẹ̀mó. Ó ti di 2008. Ọlọ́run àti fọkàn balẹ̀. Abẹ́kò gba ọpẹ́ wa. Ẹgbà ẹ̀yìn wa. Lórí àwọn tí wọ́n ń gba sálárì 40,000, 30,000 nínú ẹkọ́nọ́mì yìí. Ọlọ́run yìí, Ọlọ́run ẹ̀yẹ. Baba ẹgbà ọpẹ́ wa. Wọ́n ti ní ká fọkàn balẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ó yá fi wá lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ká fọkàn balẹ̀. Àmọ́ àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tá à ń rí yìí kò fi wá lọ́kàn balẹ̀ Ọlọ́run. Bàbá bẹ̀bẹ̀ lórí dọ́là 1,500 naira. Míríàdà Yako Kasinda Baroda. Ọlọ́run gba ẹ̀yìn gba ọpẹ́ wa. Májà tọrọ jẹ, májà tọrọ jẹ, májà tọrọ jẹ, májà tọrọ náà, májà tọrọ lò. Jésù.
People where they pray for transformer, will blow to start working. You will become creative. Somebody said it is suffering and smiling. I said it is coping mechanism. And somehow, a lot of us from Nigeria were born with it. Coping mechanism. Laughing at it. Dying slowly. And all of that stuff. So our tears go dey different too. Shey you understand? And you see the tear we be seen are fake. Is that tears from that honorable from Ekiti? He has said all he said, like everyone else from all the troubled areas. After that, he is going to be very careful going to his Ekiti North. The people he represents, he is going to watch them get slaughtered, get dehumanized, kidnapped, and further impoverished in a contraption called Nigeria. It is what it is. It's a very sad situation. That's why we said that break up Nigeria and save lives. We are not asking for war. This is like they told you Nigeria is not at war. Don't cause war in Nigeria. All of you should be very careful. Because if you cause war in Nigeria, all your family members are not safe. Our family members are not safe now. And if this is an invincible war, well, we know those behind the mask, they've taken off the mask. We know those who are killing us. But they said we can't fight back so that we don't cause war in Nigeria. Every day, people are being killed violently. And you just please don't cause war in Nigeria. Baba Syria thought in Jawa gone. They know they pick dead body the way they are picking dead bodies in Nigeria, including women and children. Now, the news everyone is going to be looking forward to is that if the negotiation for the ransom of the kidnapped children in Ekiti, if it comes successful, maybe they will pay half of the money. Maybe they will pay 10 million. Maybe they will pay 20 million. They will have to pay something. Then they will release all these children. The trauma and everything that all these people suffered or are currently, they have been subjected to in the last 48 hours and God knows for how many other days, right? Now, if they come out alive, they are coming out as damaged people. Do you ever think of that in their young age? And people that this terrorism have damaged in Nigeria, they are in their hundreds of thousands, including families of victims. They talk less about them. Probably nobody talks about them anyway. They just say, go and thank God that they brought your people back. Until they kidnap another one. You see those of you who are watching me right now, there are many other things bothering you as we speak today. Yeah? But we are those who have somehow survived today. We are victims of tomorrow. Every day, it's like we are living on a borrowed time. Every day you give these criminals a breathing space. Every day. On a borrowed time. Honorable said, Honorable said that Nigeria military only patrolled their outpost every Tuesday. Maybe just to go around and see who they could obtain every Tuesday. Military outpost in a place where the people have been subjected to different terrorism attack. So it's not on their table. Because I told you, there was a time I told you, and I'll keep reminding you, in some part of Nigeria today, for example, in up north of Nigeria, especially partly part of the Sharia north, Baba, more than 50% of northern Nigeria removed middle belt from them. Northern Nigeria are no longer in the control of Nigeria government. They are totally controlled by different kind of terrorists. In some areas where they have negotiated with the terrorists, the people in those communities, those local government areas up north, they contribute money to pay taxes to the terrorists. If they don't pay their taxes, the terrorists will come, they will round them up, and they will slaughter some of them to warn others never to fail to pay their taxes. This has been going on for over 10 years in some of this northern Nigeria. They are still conducting election to say, yeah, election took place in northern Nigeria. Election took place in so and so. Well, nobody actually lives anymore due to this terrorism. But you see those who are down south, who are claiming to be educated, the educated morons, who love to be politically correct. Now, the nemesis is catching up with everyone now. Here you get all the rubbish you defended, believing that they will never come to light down south, where people will begin to kind of feel like, why is this happening? We want answers and all of that stuff, right? They are now happening. They are happening. You are not safe too. If you are not in Nigeria and you are promoting all this, you are promoting Tifnumbu and their APC criminal gang, it will touch everybody. It's so unfortunate that it is not selective. It will touch everyone. You are not safe. My family is not. Yours is not. No one is. The situation has gotten to a stage whereby they are teaching us to get used to it. And that's the problem. Get used to it. Somebody said that Ekiti election result got to Abuja before Abuja result got to Abuja. And I'm like, listen, I have told you, you see the situation everyone is in right now. Baba, if this, if this failed government and their handlers and all that, if the consequences is selective and just pick on those, especially those academia, supposed educated people, lecturers who were boldly saying that Tifnumbu had the experience. Tifnumbu is this, Tifnumbu has that. I am talking about lecturers in universities in Nigeria. It was the battle of the old generation and the younger generation. Here you get. And that was why the messages of, their messages of tribal division and the rest of that went on. So, the man that all these educated wearies who are now acting up like, oh, we didn't expect this. We were not expecting him to be like this. If the consequences will select them alone, I may actually be up for it. But we all know that now everybody, they collect as we speak. Here you get. So that's that feeling of, oh, is a karma, especially when you see those who publicly disgrace their family names for this drug dealer, Tifnumbu, and today they are going through hell like everyone else. If they were the only people affected, I will be up for it. But take a look now. A lot of you who did everything to reject them, you are in it as well. You are getting it too. So can we say it's also karma for you? I can't say it's a karma for you. You don't deserve it. You see all this nonsense going on in Nigeria today. For everyone who tried their best to bring to an end this jihadist and kleptomania group of people called APC, to keep gaining, controlling power in Nigeria. You don't deserve all of this, so you know that. But it is happening. Everyone is facing it. Whether you secretly supported them or you openly supported them, whether you secretly rejected them or you openly rejected them, look around you. Can we say it's also karma? Because you don't deserve it. You don't. No, none of you did. I mean, none of you does or kind of deserve this. Well, it's happening anyway. People are being kidnapped. People who also rejected APC. Some of them have been killed now. Some have been kidnapped. Yes. They don't deserve it. And that is why I don't think it's kind of all right, you know. But yeah, you're right. When this woman said one of the killed kings was APC, and not just an APC, person, a king that saw all that happened under Bokwari, but they threw all of that away. And they were shouting, Omowani is our own, blah, 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 right? To the point that a king commandeered the people in his community and made them, all of them, to vote for APC. And that guy got killed, the king himself. That's what this woman was saying yesterday.
Excellency, it's one in the town. Excellency, ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí. Tá mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run àtúnṣìírí wọn. Àmín. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn tó ti kú, wọ́n ti tún kú báyìí. Ẹ wo gbogbo àwọn ọba Ìkọ̀lé local government tán jókòó. Ìgbà tó bá ti pa àwọn ọba, kí ni tí àwa ìpẹ́? Excellency, àwọn bòróró wọn ò tiẹ̀ já gbádùn bí. Ìpakúpa náà pa àwọn èèyàn wá. Bọ́dẹ̀ mọ́ ká ṣe é ṣe fún yín lórúkọ Jésù o. Ẹ wá báyìí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ má fi wá lẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ò ní fi yín lẹ̀. Ibi tí bàbá ìbáṣẹ́dé ló ń díje yín.
Please, Your Excellency. This was where this king sat. And he told all of us, yeah, oh yeah, APC. Oh yeah, start on printing APC. If they are now killing kings, what will happen to all of us? All of us here. God will expose them. But Your Excellency, please don't leave us alone. All these Fulani Bororos, the terrorists here, they never give us, they never let us have peace. And we don't know what to do. Government was supposed to protect them. But they are all compromised. Your safety has been compromised. You see all those people who sat in that place, right? Some of them are still going to be killed before the end of this year. It's not because I wish it. Just take a look. Like, if you wish that something good should happen and you wish that something bad should not happen, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride, oh. Sure, you know. Governance is not about wishes. It is about acting promptly. Fulani armed terrorists are killing people. They are in the forest. The government, who wants to keep the people safe, will assemble his own army. They will go after those forests, clear them and kill as many of those terrorists as you can kill. And any of them that surrendered, right, you bring them out and you give them this military court martial, what do you call it, military trial, right, and condemn all of them to death. After that, right, gas them in one of those forests, build one big center like a concentration camp, gas the entire place, and when you are done, it will make everyone, whether for tribal, whether for religious, or whether for anything, or sure you get, it will make anyone who wants to group together to go and unleash violence on harmless people, innocent people, vulnerable people, under whatever guise, you will think twice. But no, that's not what they are going to do in Nigeria, because they don't want the Fulanis to make, to think that the Yorubas don't like them. Who likes you? Does Fulani likes us? When they unleash this terror on us, does this look like love? Does this look like anything unity? So that is why I said that since they won't do what should be done, everybody will react now. In the next few days, they are going to kill another set of people and kidnap others. I mean, I remember when their military was in Mangu. They are still killing people in Mangu. They are still killing people in Plateau State as we speak. Taraba is on. I mean, is facing the same terror killings every day as we speak. And I remember when this guy was like, yeah. He was lying, by the way, right? Did you remember this?
Troops arrested violent extremists in Mangu.
Mind you, right? When the military went to that Mangu, right? They didn't go after the terrorists. They went after the youth of the communities. They rounded them up because they told them to surrender their weapons or, be arrested. They killed 4 of them. And then they arrested others. And Nigeria military came out and said they have arrested all those who are causing the problem. They were not Fulanis. Do you remember that?
Troops arrested violent extremists in Mangu and Wase local government areas of Plateau State. They also arrested a header militia gang leader in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Talking a little about the situation that happened in Plateau State, specifically in Mangu local government area of the state, I would say that the situation was triggered by a combination of factors, including the attempted cattle rustling and the killing of a Wangulvul man by header militia. It was reported that a Wangulvul man riding on motorcycle along road Mangu Sabongeri Mangu Hall ran into a herd of cattle crossing the road on the 22nd of January 2024. The herders reportedly killed the Wangulvul man on the spot. Consequently, Wangulvul militia mobilized and attacked herders and Muslims resident around Gangwaram Quarter in the early hours of the 23rd of January. And since this incident, it has become a free-for-all between the header militias and the Wangulvul militias mobilizing against each other. Now, this situation was exploited by unscrupulous elements to loot shops and other valuables within the Mangu township. There was also the burning of places of worship, including churches and mosques, raising the possibility of a religious dimension to the crisis. I will tell you that the situation is still being addressed as more troops have been deployed to contain the situation. Having said that, I will say that overall troops of Operation Safe Haven neutralized 11 insurgents and arrested 22 violent extremists, as well as rescued 17 kidnapped hostages. Troops recovered 17 AK-47 rifles, over 321 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, among other.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
So that's the script as it was put out. That's what happened in Mangu. Some Fulani herdsmen crossing road, an Okada man, a Christian crossed that, and then meanwhile it's a case of a cattle rustling. It won't make any sense. Cattle rustling is that when organized criminals attack herdsmen and their herds, and they steal their cows. Can you understand now? That is what you call cattle rustling. In that press release of that madman in uniform, right? He said it's a case of Okada man ran into, no, he said it's a case of a cattle rustling, which started like Okada man ran into Fulani this, and they killed they killed the Okada man. And then the Okada man went on to mobilize other people to go and attack Muslims the following morning. Like, did that make any sense? Now, so that they talk in Nigeria. When you ask them questions like, hey, are you trying to, they will say, make them arrest you. If you don't understand what we just told you now, just forget it. Yeah. That's the report from the field. We have arrested the leader of the Fulani extremists. They use extremist. Extremism. Okay, well, that's the closest they can say. They are terrorists.